Today we are making 5 new $5 dinners. These dinners are ridiculously delicious and they will feed your entire family. The first recipe we are making, it's just my favorite chicken barbecue drumsticks. I've made it in my slow cooker often, but this is how you make it in the oven. They are fall apart tender, so good. So I have my chicken drumsticks right here. You will need those and barbecue sauce. This barbecue sauce is so affordable, but it is like really good. And then I have about a tablespoon of brown sugar right here. To the brown sugar, add in about a teaspoon of onion powder. These are all very affordable seasonings, but it's just the best mixture, best seasoning mixture. I do have a little helper today. So I have my brown sugar, my onion powder, and my oregano in this little seasoning mixture. Now I'm adding in a tablespoon of paprika. I like to go heavy on the seasonings just because chicken legs need seasoning. Now to this big baking dish, I'm adding in a little bit of oil. Do you like chicken?
Yeah.
She likes these chicken legs. They're good, huh, Brinley? Now add in your chicken drumsticks just right into that bowl. And then over the top of the drumsticks, you are going to add all of your seasoning. Do you want to help me with that? So you're going to kind of sprinkle it on just like this and coat the chicken super duper well. Like I said, these chicken drumsticks are so flavorsome. Do you want to go wash your hands?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Now I'm going to cover the top with barbecue sauce.
Me too.
Okay, you could do that. Oh, do it all over. You're doing perfect. Just do it all over. Good job. Then you're going to cover this with foil, and this will go in a preheated oven to 400 degrees, and I like to bake these for like an hour and a half. I like to have them be super like fall apart tender in the end. This chicken always comes out so tender, as you see here. It's like the most tender chicken. I love making it like this. And then that sauce over the top is so sweet and unbelievable. I'm just serving this alongside, I had a cucumber in my fridge, so like a cucumber salad. It has a little bit of red wine vinegar, salt, pepper on it, and then mashed potatoes. This is a delicious filling dinner. That chicken is so tender and delicious cooking it like that. You have to give it a try. For tonight's dinner, we are making this breakfast casserole. This is like a sausage crescent breakfast casserole. You will need sausage. This is like the cheapest sausage I could find at the store. It's like a pre-cooked sausage. Any sausage will work. You could use like ground sausage. Any sausage will do. You will need 6 eggs. Then you'll need crescent rolls. I'm using these crescent rolls. You'll need like a sheet. So to get this recipe started, you will crack 6 eggs into a bowl. So that is what I'm going to do now. Now that I cracked my eggs into the bowl, I'm going to season just with salt, pepper, and then a little bit of onion powder and paprika. Any seasonings will do if you want to keep it simple with just salt and pepper. You certainly can. I do find that onion powder, garlic powder, it's a very cheap seasoning mixture. And then you will whisk this together just to break the yolks. This recipe is also in my first cookbook ever, and it is on page 11 in the breakfast sections. And there's over like 100 recipes. Every recipe has a colored photo. I have 2 cookbooks that I self-published. So this one, which is my first one, and then my second one called Make It Simple. Anyway, so now that all of the yolks are broken, you could add milk to this if you want. You could add water. I'm just keeping it super budget friendly, and this is the way I've been making it for years. Now to the bottom of a 9x13 baking dish, just oil it. You could spray it with oil spray or drizzle it on just like I did. And then you are going to add a can of the crescent rolls down. You're just going to kind of unroll them to the bottom of the baking dish. You don't want to like break the seams apart, but you just want to pinch it together. It's like one big sheet on the bottom of your baking dish, just like this. See how it unrolls to one sheet? That is what you want. So do that, pinch the seams in a little bit like this. Now I'm going to grab my sausage. Since the sausage is already pre-cooked, I'm just going to slice it into pieces. If you do use raw sausage, just go ahead and brown it on the stove. I've done it both ways. As you see, like with the sausage here, I just did links of sausage and I browned it on my stove. But like I said, either way will do. For this sausage, I like to cut it into like discs. That's just my favorite way for this breakfast casserole. Also, for this breakfast casserole, if you don't want to use sausage, you could use bacon. You could do veggie, so you could keep it vegetarian and do a variety of vegetables. Anything goes. Breakfast casseroles are one of my favorite affordable things to make, especially for dinner. I feel like we all look past breakfast casseroles at dinner time. We're just thinking of chicken, beef, sausage. We're thinking of like dinner food items. At least I am. I don't know if you are. You might be too. But at dinner time, I'm just always thinking of dinner items, but we look past breakfast for dinner, so I recommend it, especially if you're trying to save some money throughout the week. Now that I have all my breakfast sausage sliced, I'm just going to go back over to my crescent dough sheet and I'm going to add it over the top. You want it to be all over the top of the crescent sheet, kind of like this. And now over the top of this, you're going to add your eggs. Just spread your eggs out a little bit like this. And then you're going to bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes or until that egg has set. Here's what it looks like out of the oven. As you see, the crescent roll fluffs up beautifully, kind of absorbs some of the egg in like the best possible way. The sausage gets beautifully browned. This is a favorite dinner of ours. We're about to actually sit down and eat. You could top this with cheese, tomatoes, top it with any veggies you'd like, anything in general. This is a good one. For tonight's dinner, we are making these easy, cheap $5 meatballs. We're doing like meatballs and spaghetti. So I'm just using marinara sauce. If you know me, you know that I always do the Hunt's can of marinara sauce. This was cheaper today. The Hunt's can's gotten expensive, so I don't know if it went up in price, but anyway, you also need spaghetti, and then I'm just going to use a portion of this onion and I'm going to dice it super small and 1 pound of ground turkey along with seasonings. I'm going to do garlic powder, Italian seasoning, oregano, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Let's get started on the meatballs. To this bowl, I'm adding in 1 pound of ground turkey. Now I'm going to add in a very small amount of this onion. I'm just going to dice it in. Just add the diced onion right into the bowl. As you see, I like to dice it so small. When making meatballs, if you don't dice your onion small, the meatballs are going to like separate because the onion is such a big chunk. So like I said, dice your onion so small, or you could even use dried onion. That way the meatballs will not fall apart because the onion is so big, taking up so much space. Now I'm adding in a ½ teaspoon of salt, and then you're also going to add in a ½ teaspoon of pepper along with your ½ teaspoon of onion powder. These meatballs have a ton of flavor. I actually haven't made them in a couple of years for some reason, but they're good. Also add in your ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I'm adding in close to a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. The Italian seasoning gives it wonderful flavor. So does that fresh onion. And then I'll add in a little over a ½ teaspoon of oregano. This is just dried oregano. I have my gloves on because not many people like to mix meat with their bare hands, but mix up your ground turkey. You want this seasoning and onion to get all over your ground turkey. Then you're going to roll your ground turkey into little balls just like this. I'm doing fairly small balls. You could do larger balls if you'd like, kind of however you'd like your meatballs to be and whatever you're doing for your dinner. If you're doing meatball subs, you could do a little larger, but like I said, I'm doing spaghetti for tonight's dinner. Spaghetti and meatballs have just been sounding so good to me and my family recently, so. This is just a crowd-pleasing meatball recipe. It's easy to throw together, delicious, and you could also do this with ground chicken, ground beef, really any ground meat you'd like. I'm doing turkey, as you know. This will bake in a preheated oven to 400 degrees. You want to bake it for about 20 minutes total. I do like to flip the meatballs at the 10-minute mark. So bake them for 10 minutes, bake them for another 10 minutes to get to 20 minutes until the meatballs are cooked through in the center. My meatballs are about done. I flipped them at the halfway mark, so I flipped them at 10 minutes, so they'll bake for just a few more minutes until they're cooked. But now we're going to get started on the spaghetti portion of dinner. My little ones love spaghetti. So to this pot of boiling water, I'm adding in about 3/4 pound of spaghetti noodles. You could, of course, use any type of noodle you like, but I feel like I make some variation of spaghetti every single week just because, like I said, my little ones love it. My husband, my husband's favorite foods is spaghetti, so I make it often. But to this pan on the stove. I'm adding in my 24 ounces of marinara sauce. I just added a little water to my jar just to get the last bit of sauce out. Just dump it in there. I'll let this simmer for a couple of minutes. And then once this does start to simmer, I will add in those cooked meatballs. Here's what my meatballs look like out of the oven. I'm just going to add them into the marinara sauce now that it's simmered for a couple minutes, and then I'll cover the meatballs in the sauce just to make them extra flavorsome in the end. It's going to make them a little bit saucy to go over the spaghetti, and it's also just going to keep the meatballs warm while my noodles cook because I didn't time it perfectly. My noodles still need a few more minutes to cook. Now that the spaghetti is cooked, I am just going to strain it. Now it's time to plate up dinner. My little ones are outside playing, but they're excited for spaghetti tonight. Spaghetti and meatballs, there's nothing better than like a homemade meatball, and these turkey meatballs are spectacular with all those seasonings. They're just delicious, super tender. I don't make turkey meatballs and spaghetti often enough, but this is a good one. For tonight's dinner, we are making ramen noodle stir fry. This is a go-to at my house. All you need is bags of ramen, and I love this deluxe stir fry veggie blend. It's like broccoli, some green beans, a little bit of carrots, these little corn things, chestnuts, and red peppers. It's a really good blend of mixed veggies. Also saves you so much money buying frozen mixed veggies like this. So this is what we're making. This is a great dinner to have on hand when you don't really know what you're going to make for dinner. You also need soy sauce. I just buy like the cheap low sodium soy sauce, and a bottle of this goes a long way. Let's go to the stove. To a pan on the stove, just add in about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I'm going to add in all of my veggies. There's a ton of veggies in this recipe. I know people think ramen and they automatically think, well, maybe not super healthy, and I'll be the first to admit, I think that way too. But this recipe, it is so healthy. This recipe is just so good for you with all these delicious vegetables in it. I like to cook these veggies for about 7 to 8 minutes. You want them to kind of get brown on the outside. And then to this pot back here, I have it with some boiling water in it. You want to add 3 bags of ramen. You could always add more or less ramen depending on how many people you are feeding. This recipe, I'd say, feeds 4 people. One of my friends actually brought this to a potluck as a side dish. She had to bring a veggie noodle side dish, they asked her to, and she brought this, and it was a complete crowd pleaser. So you could have this as a main dish like we are tonight for dinner, or a side dish. Works so well as well. Anyway, save the seasoning packets. You'll only need about 1 of the seasoning packets for this recipe. Let your ramen cook through, and then you'll also let these veggies cook through. You could easily add meat to this if you'd like. Chicken, pork. Add meat if you want meat, but I find it so good without any meat. This recipe is also in my brand new cookbook called Make It Simple. It is on page 228. It's in the meatless meals section. I have a meatless meal section in this book, but here's what the front of it looks like. There's over 150 recipes, easy, realistic recipes. There's at least 1 photo for every single page. Here's what some of it looks like, just so you see. I just strained my ramen because it was cooked through. My veggies are about cooked through as well. I like my veggies to get a little bit brown on the outside. That char just gives them added flavor, as you see here. But yeah, I'll let my veggies cook for a couple of more minutes. And then all you have to do is add in your 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of water, and then just 1 of the packets that the ramen came with. One of those seasoning packets, toss it in, give this a really good stir, and then you could serve this up. This dinner comes together in minutes, and we love it in my house. This dinner just cost a few dollars to throw together. I've been making it for quite some time. It's just a total hit. It looks delicious, it smells delicious, and you can't go wrong with veggies, noodles, and a little bit of saltiness. This dinner is quick, easy, delicious, comes together in minutes, and I can't wait to sit down and eat it. I topped mine with a little bit of sesame seeds. We often drizzle a little bit more soy sauce over the top of ours. I'm excited for dinner tonight. For tonight's dinner, I need a quick, easy dinner that everybody will love because I have to run over to a practice soon for one of my little ones. So we're making this Hashbrown veggie ham skillet. It is delicious. I am using these Hungry Jack hash browns I love these because they're a pantry staple. They stay in the pantry forever. I'll show you what they look like inside. They're like just dehydrated potatoes. They're really good. The first time I ever saw these, I was like, but they're good. I had them as a kid, so I started eating them when I was little. And then I have green beans. I had these in the back of my freezer. I'm sure they've been in the freezer for a while, but they'll be fine because I'm just gonna cook them in a one-pot meal. And then a little bit of diced ham. A little bit of diced ham goes a long way. This is 8 ounces of ham. Let's get to cooking. The first thing you're going to do is rehydrate the Hungry Jack potatoes if you're using dehydrated potatoes like I am. So you'll rehydrate them just by adding super hot water in to the fill line inside. So fill it up basically close to the top, and then you will shut it, and like magic, you will have a ton of potatoes in the matter of a few minutes. While this is rehydrating, let's go ahead to the stove. To a pan on the stove, just add in about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then you're going to add in the diced ham. Cooking the diced ham like this with the green beans in the oil is going to give the diced ham a lot of extra flavor. This is one of my favorite dinners to make. It's just a good, cheap, $5 dinner to throw together. And then you're going to add in your green beans. This is about probably 8 ounces of green beans, just because I've used some before. So not the whole bag, but most of the bag. You could use any mixed vegetables you'd like. You could use frozen mixed vegetables, but since I just have these green beans on hand, I am just using the green beans. I'm going to cook this just to brown the ham on the outside. It'll give it a caramelized flavor. Same with the green beans. Cook it for a few minutes. Now that my ham is starting to get brown on the outside, I'm just going to add in my seasonings, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I love adding in plenty of garlic powder. Add in about a teaspoon of that. You could always do fresh garlic if you'd like, but garlic powder it is for today. Same with onion powder. It looks like I'm all out of onion powder, but I'd like to do a teaspoon of that. And then same with paprika, a half to 1 teaspoon of that. And then I'm going to give this a little stir just to mix the seasonings in with the ham and the green beans. This is a very, very economical dinner to throw together. Ham is a cheap protein that you could purchase at the store, so I do like cooking with it. And then this ham is pre-diced, so convenience all the way. But now that my hash browns are finished rehydrating, as you see, they're normal hash browns now. Add them right into your baking dish, and then you're going to give this a little stir just to cook everything together. You're going to cook it together for about 8 minutes, stirring it often. I know it doesn't look like much, but holy moly, this is a good one. Those hash browns get like crispy. The veggies are just there to add a little bit of nutrition, let's be honest. But ham, hash browns, can't go wrong with this. You could always add a little cheese to it if you're feeling crazy. If you are a hash brown fan like I am, you will love this. The ham, the hash browns, the green beans mixed together. It's delicious with all those wonderful seasonings. Of course, you could have the green beans on the side if you don't want to add the green beans to it. You could do mixed veggies, do anything you want. It's so hot. All these meals have been so hot this week. Too hot for me to try. But anyway, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video like this. Bye for now.